This is Twit.
Late last week, a bunch of people started republicizing a date which we have known for some time. Windows 10 Mobile will no longer be supported, the operating system for Windows Phone, by Microsoft for free as of December 10th of this year. This date's been known for a while. But for some reason, a new round of stories came out last week and set off kind of a chain reaction of everyone panicking again about this. There was a new interesting bit, though. Microsoft updated a support page and actually said on it, Microsoft is recommending users go to Android or iOS. This is kind of the final word, guys. If you've been holding out thinking, hey, what about Andromeda? What about this? What about that? They're telling you now, they're giving you explicit written instructions. Don't wait around. Go to iOS or Android.
It's the new Microsoft. Earlier today, Microsoft said, stop using Cortana. Go to go to Amazon
our
Echo.
products.
Yeah.
Well,
dear Windows
I didn't
fans,
give you the
stop using Windows.
I didn't give you the
Love
beginning of that
Microsoft.
sentence because it's so bizarre that it was on the support page. With the Windows 10 Mobile OS end of support, we recommend customers move to a supported Android or iOS device. Microsoft's mission statement is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And this mission statement compels us to support our mobile apps on those platforms and devices. So they actually use the mission statement to back up why they were doing this, which is bizarre.
We don't feel that our mission statement applies to the people using our own products, so please stop using it. I don't think these instructions could be more explicit.
I know.
And yet, here's the problem. Every time something like this comes up, I am deluged by messages from every single person who still uses a Windows Phone, feels the need to tell me that they're still using a Windows Phone. And I cannot stand this. I hate hearing from these people. I feel bad for them. I think they're misguided. I think they're making a mistake. But that's actually not the central issue. That stuff is all true. But the reason this bothers me so much is that I really bet big on Windows Phone myself. I wrote books about it. I wrote the first ever book about Windows Phone. I feel that I was part of the problem. I supported this much longer than I should have. And in doing so, I did not do the right thing by the people who read the stuff that I write or watch the podcast or whatever it is. And so what happens now is people come back to me and they're like, oh, you hate Windows Phone, or you used to be this big Windows Phone supporter. Now you hate Windows Phone, or you hate people that use Windows Phone. It's like, no, I belatedly came to understand that I was doing the wrong thing by supporting this thing that was never going to succeed. And, in 2015, when they made it very clear that this was happening, I tried to make sure that everyone who was paying attention understood what was happening correctly, because there were other Windows blogs that were telling people everything was fine, that these things aren't going away, that they're not dropping support. They're going to keep improving it. It's, it's just built as part of Windows 10. You don't have anything to worry about. And that was not true. And I took a great personal responsibility for this. The fact that there are still people out there who are insisting, that this thing is fine for them, or it does everything they need, or it's better in some way than Android or iOS, which is patently untrue and has been untrue for years, is troubling to me. The fact that I might be part of the reason for that kind of thinking is personally disturbing to me. And I'm just trying to correct it. So that's what that is. That's all it is. It bothers me at a deeply personal level when people are just so insistent on, the fact that they're using the thing, it's like whatever, but they have to talk about it. And it's like, just do it in private. Like, you're a pariah. I get it. I mean, and I'm sorry, but the world has moved on, and they're not listening to this either, right? Microsoft, like Mary Jo said, had come out explicitly and said, look, dear God, use an iPhone or an Android handset. And these people are still like, no, I'm not going to do it. You can take away Microsoft Pay. You can take away Cortana. You can take away a Groove. You can take away apps. You can take away like whatever. I am not giving this thing up. And it's like, okay.
Yep. Including, by the way, many Microsoft employees. Like we always talk about how many Microsoft employees use iOS or Android. There's still tons of them who use Windows phones.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and you had said, we had this conversation on Twitter. You had said something like, like these are our people, and I said, they're not though, not really, right?
Right.
This is not really, and what I mean by that is, it's nostalgia. It's not like our people are using modern Microsoft services and apps, and I on whatever device they choose, Right. Microsoft doesn't make phones anymore.
I didn't know you had gone this deep in your analysis of this. I thought you were just kind of being like, oh,
yeah, no, I know that. I know that's why I said you said I'm gonna break out the gong, and I'm like, you're not gonna need it. It's not. This isn't a rant about these people per se. It's rather the fact that I think some of them exist because of me, and I'm
So I had no idea you were thinking of it that way.
I know.
No.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. I mean, when I said these are our people, I meant, we've done a bunch of live shows where we say to people in the audience, what are you guys using for phones, and how many people are using Windows Phone? And so many people in the audience are using it. And I'm like, wow, really? Like both you and I were big
it's like wearing a Captain America T-shirt to a Comic-Con or something. It's like it's like this. I mean, even the people who were beating the drum on this stuff weren't really using Windows phones, A lot of people. And I'm not trying to be a jerk to anyone else who does what we do, but I mean, there's a lot of outright lying along those lines, and it's
jerk.
Yep.
Yeah, there was.
Look,
it is exactly like wearing a Captain Marvel T-shirt. It's pretty funny. No, I use Windows Phone, honest.
Oh, no, here it is.
Here it is,
and
see?
then the iPhone falls out.
Right.
Well, I mean, when I navigate in the car, I use Google Maps. I'm not an
When
idiot.
I want to do anything, I use it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, anything important, it's always on a phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the games that came out 5 years ago. I still play those all the time. They're excellent. I just, Microsoft, when they entered the phone business again, with Windows Phone 7, they had such great innovative ideas, and it was such a good idea. And what history has shown is just that it didn't work. And the reason it didn't work is because it was people centric, like they said. None of the big brands out there, none of the big services out there want anything people centric. They want it to be them centric. They don't want Facebook as a nameless thing that you can share to from some other thing. They want you to run Facebook. And that was the failure of Windows Phone. It was, that and the 3 times they changed platforms, and also, by the way, I don't know where I wrote this, but when Windows 8 came out, we talked about something like this a couple weeks ago. Instead of taking Windows Phone and adding it to Windows, they took the ideas from Windows Phone and made something completely different, incompatible, and not as good. And when you look at what the other major platform makers are doing today, Apple and Google, they're doing what Microsoft could have done in 2012. They're adding their mobile platform to their desktop. They had it. They had it 6 years ago. They could have done this.
Politics, company politics.
Insular stupidity, and that's just a tragedy to me. Someone who cares about Windows. So it's right. Like our people. Like when I think of our people, like I hope our people understand our people. The group that we are part of. Yeah. The tragedy that is Windows Phone. It absolutely is one. The tragedy that Microsoft didn't integrate it with Windows as Windows 8 instead of doing what they did. The years that we've been set back because of that, the fact that we may never literally recover from this, is a tragedy. And so every time this comes up, it's like just being stuck in the side again. It's like, yes, I know it's awful. Like it's just awful. To me, this is the worst thing that's ever at Microsoft.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.